Hello everyone and welcome to Anthroholic. This is 𝗪𝗁 𝗪𝗁 and in today's video we are going to talk about Cope's rule. We are going to look at a few features, the key ideas behind it, and finish it off with the criticism or major critical points of this particular rule. And before we begin, I would like to tell you that Anthroholic has launched its new course for all the IAS aspirants, all those who have taken anthropology as an optional subject. We have released a course on the link, and the link for that is in the description below. So do check that out. It is filled with a lot of features, a lot of videos, a lot of test series, a lot of questions which will help you improve your understanding as well as answer writing skills. Now let's begin with the topic being Cope's rule. Now this particular rule was postulated by American paleontologist Edward Drinker Cope, who states that the lineages of the population tend to increase. Now when you see this word tend to, that indicates that this was particularly an observation. It was not exactly a rule that applied, it was an observation which later led to the formation of this rule. It was an evolutionary hypothesis, and the hypothesis says that as the lineages of the population increase, they tend to increase in body size over the evolutionary time. यानी कि बॉडी जो है वो बड़ी बड़ी होती जा रही है with respect to time और over time, that is population genealogies in general have increment in body size over the evolutionary time. So this rule was discussed in the vertebrate paleontology and evolutionary anthropology as well, where it is said that जैसे जैसे evolution हो रहा है, as the coming generations are there, they tend to be formed in larger size. Like an example, you can see the horse started off 60 billion years ago with a very small size comparatively, much small, like a dog size, you can say, approximately. From there it has evolved to the horse, the size we see right now, with limbs much longer than the previous ones, right? You can see how in the 60 million years ago to 3 million years ago, the change has happened. This is the size we are talking about, that with respect to time, in the future lineages, they have seen कि जो fossils discover हुए, whatever fossils they are discovering, it was basis that whatever fossils were being discovered, जितनी पुरानी fossils हैं, they were comparatively of smaller size, the animals were comparatively of smaller size than what they are right now in the current times, right? This is what the law states. Now what are the mechanisms and theoretical explanations of this particular rule? फर्स्ट इज द प्रेडेटर प्रे डायनेमिक. एक एस्पेक्ट ये हो सकता है कि लार्जर साइज, बड़ा साइज होने की वजह से डिफेंस बेटर हो जाता है. सो as the particular organism grows in size, it can defend itself better or it can escape faster. So the safety from predators might be one of the reasons why this particular thing happens, or this particular increase happens, because larger animals, they are probably less vulnerable to predators. Then there's competition of bigger animals. They are going to dominate. They will dominate both intra-species also and interspecies also. So the resource which we were talking about in the theory of evolution, you were seeing. So resources we know are limited only. Resources to grow nahi ho rahe hain. So when we were talking about overproduction and Darwinism, we saw that there is fight over resources. So when an animal or an individual is larger in size, it can dominate, and if it can dominate, it can gain those resources better, and therefore the survival of the particular species, a larger size species, becomes higher, because they have the access to those resources much more easily, राइट. सो टेरिटरी इजीली बन जाती है, रिसोर्सेज पे डोमिनेंस इजीली बन जाता है. Then reproductive fitness, larger size enhances the reproductive output as well as offspring survival. जो उनके बच्चे हैं उनका survival का chance, because if it's a very small animal, its offspring is going to be much smaller, and if the offspring is also very small, the predators hunting on it becomes larger. The chances of them being attacked becomes larger. So the survival of the offsprings also depends on the size. In certain cases it definitely does happen, in certain cases it might not be that impactful, but it does. It's one of the theoretical explanation of why they have better survival. Then climate, the Bergman's rule. Colder climates, they favor larger bodies, because you see polar bears, they have a larger body, and that is why they are able to store a larger amount of fat. And the larger amount of fat they are able to store, they have heat retention in body. उनकी body thermoregulation कर पा रही है because they have that kind of heat stored in them. So all the animals living in colder climates, they are favorable, the conditions are favorable towards the larger animals because they're able to retain heat better, so they don't die of cold. Then resource availability, abundant resources support energetically demanding larger bodies, which we have already seen. Jitna zyada resource hai, the larger animals, they are getting better resources and therefore they are surviving better. Metabolic efficiency, larger bodies have better energy storage also. तो सिर्फ फैट स्टोर नहीं कर रही है बॉडी, एनर्जी भी ज्यादा स्टोर कर रही है, तो दे कैन गो फॉर अ लॉन्गर टाइम विदाउट फूड इन केस देयर इज एनी स्कार्सिटी. अगर कभी भी कमी हो जाती है खाने की तो वो ज्यादा टाइम जिंदा रह सकते हैं. व्हाई? बिकॉज द एनर्जी स्टोर्ड इन देयर बॉडीज. एंड छोटे एनिमल्स विल बी एबल टू store smaller amount of energy, whereas larger animals can store larger amount of energy. So they have physiological stability and higher energy storage. Then sexual selection, bigger males often win mates in polygynous systems, so they are able to mate faster also. They promote dimorphism. So these are a few theories that favor in why this particular rule can be seen as implemented in most of the cases and most of the evolutionary examples. Now, as I was telling you about the anthropology optional course, this video is not done. We're not done discussing this particular topic, but I would like to bring to your notice the anthropology optional course features. It has micro topics. All the topics of anthropology are covered in 15 to 20 minutes, small videos. Each topic is divided into small parts so that you don't have to worry about 1, 2, 3 hour lectures. You can visit it as per your convenience, as per the topic you are working on. You have a lot access of lot of articles, a lot of study material, a lot of research papers, which will help enhance your answer writing skills. And then we have daily answer writing practice also with AI enabled marking systems, so that you can practice your writing skills much better, which is something which matters a lot in UPSC examinations, which all of you are aware of, right? So you can connect us on WhatsApp, you can connect us on the website. There's a link in the description below. After this video you can visit that link, and at the end of the video I'll also share with you the WhatsApp number, the Instagram ID of Anthroholic, where you can connect and understand about this course in more detail. Now, continuing on our discussion, we have already seen about the various theories why it happens, and one of the examples can be hominin evolution and paleoanthropological evidence. Now within the genus Homo, the Homo sapiens में जो Homo genus है, where there are multiple evolutionary parts of humans, there's a broad evolutionary trend where the body and brain size kept increasing. So there were smaller bodied humans which were Australopithecus afarensis. They have changed to Homo erectus, Homo heidelbergensis, which are larger in body, which have larger brain size as well. Homo sapiens exhibit high body to brain ratio, though body size slightly declined in the Holocene because of the shift in diet, the environmental changes. So height thoda sa kam hua, but apart from that, the brain to body ratio is higher of Homo sapiens. So evolution in humans also, if we see, was seen in the same trend of following the same trend, not exactly following the Cope's rule, but it tends to give an essence that with time the survival of humans was also in the same direction. Similarly, horses, which I have shown you, some small dog sized to the current scenario where they have come from in the 60 million years. Elephants also, early elephants were small, semi-aquatic, and over millions of years they have become into these gigantic species of mammoths, and then currently we can see Loxodonta. Then the Darwinian fish, some low fishes which increased in size, and they are surviving better now. So not only is it applicable to other animals, it is applicable to humans also. It can be seen with the trend of increasing body brain size in humans. It can be seen as increasing size in horses, in elephants, in even in fishes, in crocodiles, in alligators. The early crocodiles and alligators, they were much smaller in size compared to what today's, right? So there are multiple organisms where you will see that the fossils are much smaller compared to what the organism size is today. But definitely there are certain criticisms and exceptions. So as I told you, this was a general observation, not exactly a rule, so it is not universal. Cope's rule will not apply to all species that are there. So because many rodents, bats, small birds, उनमें कोई change नहीं हुआ है, ना वो shrink हुए हैं ना वो बढ़े हैं, like the sparrows or bats, whatever bats you see right now, whatever birds you see, there are many birds जिनमें कोई size का change नहीं हुआ है. Many fishes who have not seen a change in size, they are still the same size that they were millions of years ago. So it is not that every species of every organism is changing or increasing in size. It applies to some, but whoever it applies to, it's always increasing is what it states. Passive and active trends. Size increase may be passive outcome of minimum size limits and not active selection. This is what Gold had said, that it is not it the size increase, it may be more of a passive result because of minimum size limits. Then larger species, they have greater energetic demands, तो इसलिए एक्सटिंक्ट होने का डर भी ज्यादा होता है, बिकॉज दे रिक्वायर लार्जर अमाउंट ऑफ फूड, लार्जर अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर, लार्जर स्पेस. सो इफ द एनवायरमेंट डज नॉट फेवर दैट लार्ज ऑर्गेनिज्म, तो वो उतना सर्वाइव नहीं कर पाएगा, बिकॉज देयर आर सर्टेन एनवायरमेंटल कंडीशंस वेयर स्मॉलर एनिमल्स सर्वाइव बेटर, right? So because larger species, they have greater energetic demands, so उनका extinction rate भी ज़्यादा हो जाता है in certain cases. Despite the short term advantage, the long term advantage might not be in their favor, because they have longer gestation, they have lower reproduction rates comparatively. Fishes इतने सारे eggs देते हैं, humans or any animal also, if you see, they reproduce 1 2 3 4 at a time. Fishes, frogs, they lay multiple eggs at a time, so the reproduction rates of larger animals are small. Food demand is high, so extinct hone ka chance, if the conditions are not favorable, it becomes higher for bigger animals. So what is the anthropological relevance of this tool? Hominin evolution shows a general increase in body size. Hominin evolution, the human evolution we saw a general increase in body size, which aligned with Cope's tool. So we can see Australopithecus afarensis, approximately 30 to 45 kg. They were small bodied. Then came Homo habilis, slight size and brain increase. Homo erectus, major rise in stature, the cranial capacity increased, the brain size increased. And Homo sapiens, they are the peak in upper Paleolithic. हल्का सा decline है, but still it is there. So there are anthropological relevance to humans. Definitely it is there. To certain animals it is there, but it is not a general overall rule which will apply to every animal of every part of the world. No. So there are certain fossil evidences for certain animals which show that this increase is happening, and it has resulted in better survival rates for them, right? Now, evolutionary significance of this rule. Now, this rule explains the evolutionary trend in increasing body size, and it helps to interpret the macro evolutionary patterns. So, the macro evolutionary insight is it favors larger size during stable periods, where the adaptive radiations are happening. जहाँ पे adaptation ज़्यादा हो रहा है वहाँ पे जब stable period है environment का, उस time पे larger animals are in the favorable part of the evolution process. Larger size links to short term success, but their extinction rate is higher. That is their trade-off. The short term mein to they are very much helpful because they are able to store fat, they are getting a larger amount of energy, they can fight better, they can get the resources, better resources. But when it comes to larger picture, the longer run, there it is a slightly trade-off that can be seen. Next is energetic and physiological benefits. Larger bodies have better thermoregulation. As I told you, fat store हो रहा है, body easily regulate कर पा रही है खुद को. They have better endurance, migration कर सकते हैं. They can travel longer, so they can find more suitable places as and when required. Right? And definitely human evolution में it was very very important so that they could spread in and around. All the bigger animals you can see they are much more spread around than the smaller animals, because smaller animals have a tendency to not travel that big, they cannot migrate that easily, right? So these are a few trends, these are a few exceptions, examples we've seen the implications of this particular rule as well as the constraints of this particular rule, which and definitely exceptions to this rule. We'll be seeing you in the coming videos. Till then, please do stay connected. You can follow us on Instagram. You can connect with us on WhatsApp and subscribe to the channel for all the upcoming videos. Till then, have a good day, all of you.